Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the channel. I want to make this video today because I have heard from several of you something that is truly a smart, wise, early prediction that I think is as guaranteed to happen at some point, maybe even before July 4th. I don't think it's going to happen before the spring cleaning, and I'll be doing a preview of those offers and a reminder of what last year looked like as we get closer to what I think is going to be in about 2 weeks from this weekend. That's about when it happened the last 2 years. So stay tuned for that. You remember how Kabam said on April 19th that a bunch of exciting things would be happening with crystal updates and everything else. I think that week is literally the spring cleaning sales. And that was actually the best sales we saw in 2021. It was, in terms of shock, it was crazier than what we'd seen previously in July 4th or Cyber Weekend because it was the first time we'd ever seen a 6-star Awakening Gem selector, which felt like a generic because you could target your class for Thronebreakers, and then the first time we saw Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic, which are now staples of rewards in the contest, especially as you can see in front of you with Act 7. Speaking of Act 7, Thronebreaker is a title that gives summoners, a chance to open the best crystals and the best offers and the best monthly calendars, obviously the daily crystals and the 4-hour crystals are what I'm talking about too, by completing Act 6 and taking at least one 6-star to rank 3. Those were really, really, really hard to do a year ago and even harder to do, obviously, before that. But now that Thronebreaker has been out since October, I think it was either October or November of 2020. We're going on a year and a half of when that was. And so, as logic would have it, we should expect for the evolution of Thronebreaker, as I'm affectionately referring to it as a wallet breaker, to occur sometime later this year, around maybe even the 2-year mark, if not earlier, of when we saw Thronebreaker. Kabam knows that in order to keep the people who've been playing the longest interested and the whales to the top interested, not only do they have to come out with champions like Omega Sentinel that push the boundaries of the top 5 prestige war, but also they've got to do their best to make a new title and new offers where Thronebreaker will, yes, become Cavalier, Cavalier, Uncollected, Uncollected, Proven, and so on. With that being said, there's a big, awkward discussion, and the same thing can be made for Thronebreaker Event Quest discussion, but the Thronebreaker Event Quest, I really feel like, is already here. Kabam has just slowly but surely made the Thronebreaker Event Quest the Cavalier Event Quest with the same rewards, but with a harder difficulty. I am awaiting, at the time of recording this, we are still in the last few hours of arena wins. And when I wake up tomorrow, it will be Event Quest completion. And I always wait and do my Event Quest completion points with, the Event Quests that are completed for Cavalier. And you can see I have the final Cavalier boss after getting my Falcon knocked out and Nick Fury taking some health. Oh, wait, I have one shot with Elsa a couple of times, so I'm hoping to do that against Captain Britain at the end. This feels a heck of a lot more difficult, especially with different setups and nodes and defenders than what Cavalier difficulty was when it first was introduced. But that's the nature of the game. We'll give you Thronebreaker difficulty, but with Cavalier rewards. Well, speaking of Cavalier, and it's very ironic because, of course, I'm recording this when the Crescent Moon daily card was here, and I would have purchased this had these been Nexus crystals. I think the drop rates are so pathetic that really you're going to open the majority of 3 and 4-star champions, and for $30, it's just a high price to pay for that. If you like to just open crystals, heck, obviously it's tempting to open this just for content, having an extra Cavalier crystal to open every day for 30 days. I could justify that. I'm sure in 30 videos, they could make at least 50 cents a video, which is about what the worst videos on my channel make, about 50 cents. And so, heck, that turns into a $15, daily card, if you think of it like that. But I still can't justify it. And so I just haven't purchased it. And I don't think I will, even with the 1,500 extra 6-star shards. Although I'll get 500 more than that from the arena rewards today on this Sunday. With that being said, let's talk about how the Thronebreaker crystal can take the Cavalier crystal and evolve it. I think the least controversial statement I can make in this video is that Thronebreaker crystals should not have 3 stars. Cavalier crystals, of course, shouldn't have them either, but they're already coded in the game. This isn't changing. 3 stars should not be in regular Thronebreaker crystals. And I think you could argue that 6 stars should have a minimum drop rate in Thronebreaker crystals of 5%. 5%. Really, my dream is for it to be 10%, but I just don't think that's realistic for how Kabam sees the economy of the game. So let's say 5%. And I think a 6-star Nexus should be at least 1.2%. You should double up most of the drop rates in this. A 5-star should be 25%. And then the rest of it, 4 stars. I know that's still not going to make people happy, but I think realistically you have to consider, especially with gold and ISO and everything else, Kabam, who's resisted this Thronebreaker crystal because they don't want to put out more gold than ISO, because when you sell the ISO you get gold, and that's how I have the majority of my 463 million gold. So I would give this like a 60% drop rate for 4 stars. 60% drop rate for 4 stars, 25% drop rate for 5 stars, maybe a 8% drop rate for 5-star Nexus, and then the rest a combination of 6 stars and 6-star Nexus. I think that's fair. If we're going to talk about Wallet Breaker, and if Kabam wants people to push for that next progression level, which I'm sure they're working on right now, they need to give us the evolution of the Cavalier Crystal to the Thronebreaker Crystal. And yes, eventually the evolution of the Cavalier Event Quest to Thronebreaker Event Quest. It's going to be weird when Heroic is the lowest difficulty for Event Quest, I'm sure, for Wallet Breakers, but it's also going to be logical. What I don't think is going to be helpful to Kabam is if they stall this. One thing that I can guarantee you is that the best thing possible for keeping people interested in the game is good rewards. And when we're talking about Thronebreakers, wouldn't it be cool if, similar to the Max Sig Crystal of 6 stars, we could get in a daily Wallet Breaker Crystal a 1% shot at a 6-star champion for free? Yeah, I think so. Wouldn't it be cool if we could get a featured 6-star worth of shards? And what about Nexus crystals? What if these daily Wallet Breaker crystals turned into something that resembled a greater gifting crystal? Pretty exciting. I think it's possible. I think it's time. And if I want to support people spending money on the game, it's not going to be in offers like the Crescent Moon Daily card. It's going to be in evolutions of the next title that gives players a real shot at more 6 stars for their roster and hopefully even rank up materials. Certainly you could argue that you could put it at 1% or less shot in those for Tier 3 Alpha or Tier 6 Basic. I'm spitballing, but I think it's a reasonable request. What do you think, YouTube? Am I off my rocker? Or do you believe me? I just gave a little Home Alone quote for those of you out there who know what I'm quoting. Greatest fake movie of all time. Have a good one. Happy Sunday. Thanks for watching.